became too much. I'm like, no, this isn't going to work. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kia, where we do all things DIY, fashion, creative, and just squeezing out the little bit of creative juices we have. Our capitalist society. So my idea is I have a whole bunch of ties, and I'll show you what I initially wanted to do with it. With the ties, I thrifted all these ties. So I kind of wanted like a button-up shirt tie ordeal where it's like giving tie, but as I was pinning the ties, it became overcrowded and it just became too much. I'm like, no, this isn't going to work. So yeah, I have to use these ties for something else. And I did like the idea of a skirt, and there have been some skirts I've seen that people made ties, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I kind of have a different idea. I kind of want my ties to come across me and like kind of like a fringe down. This can be done with pins. What you think? Let's find out. So I started this process by draping the ties around my waist. Initially, I wanted this to be a no-sew, but I soon figured out that it just wasn't going to work and I needed a base. I have this old skirt I don't really wear, so I'm thinking maybe this could be like so I'm gonna put this on, we'll see. I grew out of this skirt, as you can tell, but it still could serve a purpose. I'm all about reusing and trying things. I figured this would be a great base to start pinning and draping the neckties on so I can figure out the schematics of this. I pinned the first tie to it and then tried to kind of organize how I wanted to put these ties on it and arrange it. So I took the fringe portion off, and of course I'll save that and just use this glittery portion as the base. That way I can start pinning and draping these ties on to kind of figure my life out. And again, it's just something I needed to put the ties on it. So here I felt like I needed to pin them in place just so I can know how I want the end of the tie to go. And this was my strategy the whole time I did this skirt, like just pinning and figuring it out and then sewing, pinning, figuring it out, and I continued to play around with the shape, and I knew I wanted to have the flaps like to the side and then kind of draping and just so they're all on one side and it just fits, right? So I played around until the next day. It's a new day. So what I plan to do now is bigger panels in the back. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna add some more. Again, I'm just adding it little by little, wearing it, adding it, wearing it, and trying it out. If you want to try to do this, I recommend you sewing two ties together and then adding it to another tie. So two panels, we'd call them panels as ties. Sew them together and then add it and attach and go little by little, no rush. And I did this and kind of felt my way through the project, pinned things in place, played around in shape and draping. I honestly felt like the project was not too difficult. As a beginner, you could do this. Day 3, I just made some finishing touches and added the last bit of ties at the bottom of the skirt and pinned that together. And I was done, y'all. Overall, I felt like this was a great project. I love my skirt. And here's the final look.